In a vast African village, a hunter named Kofi. He was known across the land for his strength, wisdom, and ability to track even the most elusive animals. He never returned from the forest empty-handed, and his family always had plenty to eat. His wife, Abina, was the envy of many women in the village. She was beautiful, with skin as smooth as river stones and a voice as soft as the evening breeze. But Abina was not content. She loved Kofi, but she often felt neglected. The days felt long and lonely. While her husband was away in the forest, she longed for attention, for someone to whisper sweet words in her ear, to tell her how beautiful she was, not just bring home meat and firewood. One day, while Kofi was deep in the forest tracking an antelope, a man named Kwame passed by the village. Kwame was no ordinary man. He was a trickster known for his smooth tongue and cunning ways. He had traveled from village to village, charming women and deceiving men. When he saw Abina sitting outside her hut, braiding her hair under the shade of a mango tree, he knew he had found his next conquest. He approached her with a broad smile. "Ah, the gods must be smiling on me today, for I have seen the most beautiful woman in the land," he said smoothly. Abina laughed, flattered by his words. "Go away, stranger," she said, though she did not mean it. But Kwame was persistent. Day after day, he found excuses to pass by Abna's hut, bringing small gifts, a ripe pawpaw, a beaded necklace, a song sung in a deep, melodious voice. And slowly, Abna's heart wavered. One evening, when Kofi was away in the forest, Abna finally allowed Kwame into her hut. She thought no one would know, but the spirits of the forest see everything, the whisper of the spirits. That same night, Kofi rested beneath a great baobab tree after setting his traps. As he lay there, listening to the sounds of the forest, the wind carried whispers, soft, eerie voices that sent chills down his spine. "Go home now. There's a stranger in your hut." Kofi sat up, his heart pounding. He was a man of great wisdom, and he knew the spirits never lied. Without hesitation, he gathered his hunting tools and made his way home, his mind racing. As he neared his hut, he noticed something unusual, a pair of unfamiliar sandals at the entrance. His hunter's instincts took over. Instead of rushing in with anger, he decided to teach them both a lesson. The hunter's trap. Kofi crept to the back of his hut, where he kept his hunting traps. He picked up a large python, one he had caught earlier and tied near his home, intending to release it later. He carefully placed the python near the entrance of the hut, ensuring it was positioned just right. Then he stood outside and began to sing the song he always sang when returning from a successful hunt. The hunter returns with his spear and his strength. The hunter returns with the meat for his home. The hunter fears no beast, no man, no spirit. Inside the hut, Abena and Kwame froze. "Your husband is back," she whispered in terror. Kwame scrambled to escape, sweat pouring down his face. He rushed to the entrance, but in the darkness, his foot landed directly on the coiled python. Feeling something cold and scaly under his feet, he let out a high-pitched scream, thinking it was Kofi grabbing him. In his panic, he stumbled backward and crashed through the back of the hut, only to land straight into a deep pit Kofi had dug earlier that day to trap wild animals. Hearing the commotion, the villagers rushed to the scene, carrying torches and shooting. They found Kwame lying in the pit, covered in dust, his pride shattered. Kofi stood over him, his expression calm but full of authority. "Tell them why you are here," Kofi said. Kwame, humiliated and afraid, confessed everything. The villagers gasped, shaking their heads at his shameful behavior. The judgment. Abena fell to her knees, tears streaming down her face. Kofi, forgive me, she pleaded. I was foolish. I let sweet words blind me. Kofi looked at her for a long time before speaking. A wife's beauty is like the moon. It shines brightest when loyal. If it wanders, it is swallowed by darkness. Abena wept, ashamed of her betrayal. Kofi, being a man of wisdom, did not react in anger. Instead, he said, Trust, once broken, is like a calabash. It can be mended, but the cracks will always remain. As for Kwame, the elders of the village decreed that he must leave and never return. He walked away, humiliated, knowing he had met a man whose wisdom was greater than his trickery. From that day forward, Abena never strayed again. She learned that love is not just about sweet words, but about patience, trust, and understanding. And Kofi, though a great hunter, also learned that a man must not only provide food for his home, but also warmth and companionship